Good morning, guys. Wow, I just had to pull up my hair quickly because I'm sweating. I'm really sweaty. I am packing for a trip to Dallas. I'm going to VidSummit, which is a conference for YouTubers and content creators, mainly focused on YouTubers. So it's just for a couple of days. So I'm packing very, very lightly. I am staying with my friend Nicole. She has a channel here, Yay or Nay Nicole, and she has gone to VidSummit for like, I don't know, 5-6 years in a row. And so she signed up and she got a hotel room like right away. And I was just on the fence about whether or not I wanted to travel anymore. It's been a very travel heavy year. And yeah, I was just kind of talked into it. She's gonna be there, Lisa J, BK Beauty is gonna be there. So anyway, I last minute ended up purchasing an entry to VidSummit, but then all the hotels were booked out. So Nicole was so gracious. Thank you, Nicole, for offering. So grateful for that. Otherwise, I don't even know where I would have ended up, probably far, far away from the convention center. But I've already gotten a notification from American Airlines, who I'm flying, and that my flight is delayed. It's delayed about a half an hour, so not too bad. But there is like a welcome, like kickoff party tonight. And so thankfully the airport in Dallas is very close to the convention center, but I'm like, I can't really be that much more late. Otherwise I think I'm gonna miss the whole thing. So yeah, that's the day so far. I'm gonna just kind of finish packing up here and then just gonna head out to the airport. I did want to show you guys, I'm using my Loewe anagram balloon bag? Is that what it's called? Wow, my memory sucks. But I'm able to fit my MacBook Air, my iPad, my AirPod Maxes, my phone and my keys are out because I always, have them out. I've got my passport, my wallet. I've got readers kind of hanging off the side here. It's just a great bag because it doesn't look that big, but it really fits a lot. So I'm glad this one worked out. It's heavy though, I gotta say, it's pretty heavy. And I can't, with this sticking out, I can't put this over my shoulder, but that's okay. I'll just keep it on my hand or keep it on top of my little rolly here. So I just arrived in Dallas. I'm at the hotel. Nicole is getting ready, but we have to head on over to the convention center. There is like a welcome party or kickoff party, I should say. There's also like registration, but we both downloaded the app. There's like an app associated with this convention, and I think us registering on there, it may be enough. Anyway, we may have to pick up some stuff like tags and a swag bag or something. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna probably cut out a little early just so we can go and find something proper to eat. We both have been traveling all day and I like had a bag of unseasoned popcorn and just chugged some water. That was basically all I ate today. So that's the plan. So the conference center is in this really cool, I don't know what to call it. Oh, it's like an industrial park. So there's a ton of different restaurants here. So Nicole and we just ducked out of that party. There were so many people there. So we were just sort of milling about and we were both starving. So we're at the Bluefish Signature Japanese Bistro. and we're just about to order, so I should go back in. It looks very promising. Friends, Nicole and I are getting ready to head back on over to actually no, I'm lying. We're gonna go down to breakfast first, and then we're gonna go over to the convention center and start our day. I was shocked, and I think Nicole was too, at how many people are here. I mean, you saw the footage yesterday. There was that huge line for registration. There was a huge line to go up to, there was like this kickoff party, which I also took footage of. I just wasn't expecting this many people, but it's very exciting, and it really makes you feel like you're a part of something. You know, being on YouTube, you're just at home by yourself, filming in a room by yourself. So it's nice. It's very nice to feel like you're a part of something. So very cool. I am just doing a little bit of work. I put on very minimal makeup because the lighting in this hotel room kind of sucks. So I just have some La Mer skin tint, a Kira Weiss cream blush, and my Lancome Lashy Doll mascara on. That's it. Oh, and some lip balm. That's it. So yeah, I'm getting hungry. So we're gonna head on down and then head on over. Got back from Dallas kind of late last night. I probably got home between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. Had a great trip. VidSummit is, if you're a YouTuber or serious about your YouTubing, it is definitely something that is like a must go to. The tips and tricks that I learned, and you know, kind of like what's going on in the field of content creation, you know, AI, all that stuff. It's really, it's like really mind-blowing. And I think I mentioned this earlier in the vlog when I was in Dallas. Most of us, I mean, obviously there's some YouTubers that work with friends and big teams or whatever, but for most of us, we're kind of just doing this alone in our home, in a room or something. And so it feels nice to go to this huge convention and feel like you're a part of something. So that was really, really nice. I'm gonna guess that there were maybe 5,000 people there. It was just so much more than I thought. Like when Nicole and I got to the convention center to register, that's when I was like, oh wow, it like really dawned on me. It like really sunk in at that moment. I was like, this is a big deal. And some statistics that I thought were really interesting, I believe, and you could see this, the attendees, it was probably like 80% male, 20% female. If that, I felt like there were really a lot more guys and girls. And most of them, so Nicole and I, because of that, we were like really interested in just like YouTube statistics. So we looked this up, and I don't know how old this number is, but it sounds about right, that I think it is about an 80-20 split on YouTube. And I think because, you know, Nicole and I both are in the beauty space on YouTube, and there's so much more women in the beauty space and the fashion space and the lifestyle vlogs and all that kind of stuff, I was like, wow, I had no idea. However, the next stat that we read was that if you were to take out gaming entirely, then it is more of a 50-50 split on YouTube between men and women. I just thought that was really interesting. So anyway, that was, you know, what we did. And one day, it must have been Wednesday, because the conference was only 2 days. Yeah, it was Wednesday and a Thursday. So on Wednesday afterwards, Lisa J, Nicole, and I decided to go shopping and get some dinner, kind of like offsite basically. So we went to Italy. I got a pair of shoes, which I will show you. Lisa J got some stuff. Nicole unfortunately didn't get anything because she is continuing on traveling. So she's been traveling, she kind of squeezed VidSummit in, and then she's like continuing on with her travels. She's off to like Europe, and so she had like no room in her luggage, and you know, I was like, oh, just ship stuff straight home. She's like, oh, anything I bite, I'm gonna want to like wear immediately. I'm like, I get that. So anyway, it was a fun little shopping trip, and that's it. I had a heck of a time getting home yesterday. The flight itself was fine. The car to the airport was fine. It was just the Dallas airport was a mess. I think I've flown in and out of Dallas maybe once or twice before, but I've always like connected there, and it's always seemed relatively fine, but holy smokes. I think last night was probably the worst. I'm not gonna bore you with details, but it was like just a terrible airport experience. The worst I've ever had was last night in the Dallas Fort Worth airport. It was awful. So anyway, if I had to give it a Yelp review, it would get like half a star or whatever, the lowest rating. But I have some exciting news today. We are going to be picking up my new car today. It's finally happening. So I need to mosey on. I need to get ready and head on out of here. I have no idea how long it's going to take, because, you know, there's all that paperwork, and then I definitely want to get some good footage of it. My salesperson, Anthony, over there, he's like, you know, I'm going to really want to spend some time with you and show you all the things and everything. And I'm like, great. So I was supposed to meet with my trainer today at noon. But I was like, I'm just gonna cancel, and I'll have to see him. I'll see him next week. So I'll just work out on my own tomorrow. Whatever, I'll just work out on my own. So that's the plan for today. I'm gonna be picking up my new car. I still can't believe it. I can't believe it. And then later on this afternoon, I am going live with Kat and Amy on their luxury live show. I believe it's on Kat's channel. Yeah, it's on Kat's channel. You guys will have already seen that if you did tune in. So that is this afternoon. And then I am going out for Lori Hill's birthday. So excited. So we're gonna go to, where are we going? Hold on. I think we're going to Prime at Bellagio. I think that's where we're going. Although, so Lori and a bunch of the girls that are going, like Risa, Samantha, and I think some other people are coming. They're going to a club, which I think is at the Wynn. Maybe I'm getting confused. Anyway, I'll confirm with her where I'm actually going tonight. I will not be joining them. I'm exhausted from my trip. As you guys know, I'm not a late night person. Although I had these notions that maybe I'd be able to rally and stay up tonight, but because of this trip beforehand, I'm so tired. Like I may even need to disco nap just for the dinner tonight. So anyway, I'm gonna get going, and we're gonna go pick up my new car. All right, I am just pulling up to the Porsche dealer, and let me find some parking. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
Porsche of Las Vegas. Here is your new 2024 Porsche 911.
Watching a YouTube video and they were talking about how there's 9 bars here.
That's correct. So
and then the 11.
Going about it, yeah. So you have this variation of cars called the 992. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 9, 2.
Ah.
Or 9, 11. They know what they're doing.
It's the little things.
They know what they're doing.
It's the little things. I'm sitting in a Porsche that I just bought. You guys, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm gonna bore you once I get out of here because I don't want to take up too much of his time. I've already been here for like 3 hours. I will bore you with all of the like specs and everything. I'll put it also down below in my description box because I know some of you are big car head, Porsche head people out there. So I will let you know how exactly I spec this out, but you can see I got the Mojave beige interior and I got white exterior and white wheels. I am usually a black car gal, but here in Vegas it is just too darn hot. So decided to go for the white and the beige interior. I'm actually kind of emotional. Hey guys, I wanted to give you a breakdown and the lowdown on the options that I got in my car. Some of you were asking, you know, in previous videos when I've referenced getting this car. So I thought I would do that now. I wanted to do it when I was at the dealership, but it was so crazy. I had to return my lease. Anyway, the whole day got away from me. I was there for like almost 6 hours, you know, for the whole thing. So when I got home, I actually did a live stream with Kat and Amy. I'll link that down below if you guys are interested, but it's just like a quick like Q&A with me, and it was a lot of fun. And then afterwards, I had to go to Prime at Bellagio for Lauryn Hill's birthday. So we had a really great time. That was so much fun. But anyway, I just did not get a chance to just sit down and chat with you guys. I have to open the window because it's getting hot in here. So I have like this little sheet that they give you, and this has all the options that I got in here, which is really nice. So as you can see, I got a Porsche 911 Carrera, and I just got the base 911. I didn't get an S, I didn't get a 4, I didn't get a 4S, no turbo, no GT, no nothing. I wanted a 4S initially, and basically my salesman just talked me down to the base model because he's like, why don't you've never had a Porsche before, why don't you start there? He's like, a lot of people really prefer the 2 rear-wheel drive that the base comes with instead of the 4-wheel drive, you know, for main reasons. He's like, just it has like a little bit of a looser handling, and he's like, we live in Vegas, you don't really need 4-wheel drive here necessarily. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you know, why do you want the S? And I wanted the S because it's just a little bit more powerful. And he's like, you know, the base is really powerful. And he's like, and if you've never had a Porsche 911 before, it could be a good place to start. So anyway, because of the way Porsche does allocations, they just like will allocate like random models to dealerships. So I basically spec'd out like a base 911, but I was like, but let me know if like you get allocated an S or whatever. Anyway, I ended up getting like just the base allocation, and it took about when did I start talking about this? I think it was like the end of April, beginning of May. So May, June, July, August, September. So like 4 whole months it took. And I thought I was going to get this at the beginning of September instead of the beginning of October, but because Europe shuts down in August, my car got to the German port where it was going to get on the ship, like right around like August 1st. And so I think it just sat at the German port for like a whole month until it got onto the ship, and then it finally came over here. So anyway, we lost a month because of Europe, and they're taking all of August off. Sorry, now there's a fly in here. But anyway, here we are, and just to give you a little background on me and cars as well, because you may have heard me say in the past that like I'm not that into cars. I really kind of don't care that much about cars. But the truth of the matter is I have liked cars, but because I moved to New York City when I was so young, and you just don't drive in New York, I mean, unless you're very wealthy and you have a car and a driver, but still you're not really like driving yourself. It's just not something I ever got into, you know, and New Yorkers are just not really that into cars because you're in New York. You can't go that fast. The potholes are like literal like holes in the street that you can see like 10 stories down into. Like, it's not a place for like a nice car. You really want just kind of a crappy car. So, oh my god, there was a fly in here and I actually got it. I never get flies. I guess just, you know, moving to the suburbs, kind of getting back into car culture and, you know, kind of spending so much time in your car, because that's what happens. It kind of like awoken this like past love that I used to have for cars, like when I was in high school and junior high. I have an older brother, so we would like talk about cars and stuff. So anyway, long story short, I've been getting like more and more interested in cars, and the car that I had previous to this was Range Rover Velar, which is an SUV. I would say it's a mid-size. It's like a little bigger than a crossover, but it's not like a giant SUV. It's not like a Range Rover or, you know, a Tahoe or an Escalade. And even that car, I just felt like it was too big for me. I just never, ever, ever got used to it. And I learned to drive on a manual, no power steering, no power windows, no power anything, manual stick shift Mazda RX-7, which is a teeny tiny car, like smaller than this, 2-seater, no back seat, you know, really low to the ground. And I learned on that car, and I probably drove that car around before I left for college. So, you know, that's what I learned on, and I think that's why I just feel a little bit more comfortable in smaller cars, in cars that are lower to the ground. I know people really like to be high up, and I guess you get like a nice vantage point, but it doesn't make me feel safe. Like, I don't know, I just feel better kind of like lower. So anyway, with all of that in mind, I started, you know, kind of poking around and seeing what kind of car fit my bill in terms of like size and, you know, all of that stuff. And there really wasn't much competition. I think growing up in the 80s, I just have always had this attraction to Porsches. You know, Risky Business, Jake Ryan and 16 Candles. Like, you know, Porsche was it was like the hot car, especially in the 80s. And it's, you know, it's still a pretty popular car. So I really wanted a car that felt very sporty. I did not want like a luxury-esque kind of soft ride kind of car in like a sports body, if that makes any sense. I just didn't, I really like feeling the road. I really like kind of like hard steering. Again, I think it's probably because of the car that I learned on. But I don't like cars that are just, you know, with a lot of shock absorbency and you just feel like you're kind of cruising along and it's like, I guess, traditionally like super duper comfortable. I don't like cars like that. I just like cars that are kind of hard and you can really feel, it sounds ridiculous, really feel like the bumps in the road. I just prefer that. So anyway, that's probably why I ended up getting this car. So on to what I got and why I got them. So I ended up getting just white, like the base white. It was between this and black, essentially. You know, there was really no competition between those two. I thought about silver for like a hot second, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with white. My Range Rover was black, like all black, black with black wheels. And so when I was speccing this out, I was like, oh, do I get black wheels? And I was like, well, everyone gets black on black. Why don't I get white on white? Like, I was thinking about it very, very logically. and not really thinking about the way it would look. Of course, when we were kind of plotting it out, you know, in that like car configurator on car websites, you can kind of see it, but it's like, you know, an illustration of it. It's like a rendering of it. And I was like, that looks pretty cool, but I really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And the one thing that my salesman, Anthony, pointed out, he's like, I think it's going to look really sharp. He's like, but they're going to get very, very dirty. So just keep that in mind. And I was like, all right. But I decided to go for it. So I ended up getting white and then white wheels. Yeah, the option on here, I'm just kind of going down this list, is wheels painted in exterior color. And I think I just got like the default like rim design, the like actual wheel design, because of course there's some options or whatever. I just didn't want that much white, so I didn't want anything that was like too thick looking, but I also didn't want anything too thin where it wouldn't matter what color I painted it, like you wouldn't be able to tell. So my wheels are kind of like in between, like you can see the white pretty clearly, but it's not like, you know, too much. And then I got this beige Mojave interior, and I got the white and I got the beige because here in Vegas it's just freaking hot and every little bit counts. The idea of a black interior here in Vegas it sounds like torture. Like your skin is just gonna burn, melt off onto the seat. So I got that. I also got the front axle lift system, and basically what that is, and I think you can look up the specifics if you're even interested in all of this, but it lifts up the front of your car. I think it's 2 inches. And it's really just to help you get, because the car is so low, it's to help to get the car little hills or bumps without scraping the front. So my driveway has a bit of a pitch to it, and Anthony, my salesman, he actually drove a 911 here when I was considering it to see, because I told him that was a concern of mine, and he brought a car over that didn't have that front axle lift. It was flat. And he could, like, I was like kind of looking, he just was able, like if he angled the car a certain way up the driveway, he could get it so that it didn't scrape. But I was like, I really want to get that just because, you know, I just think it's a good idea. So it's actually a really cool feature. So you just like hit a button, and then you have to be going 15 miles per hour or lower, and then the front lifts up. I think it's 2 inches. It lifts up 2 inches. Now, when you do that for the first time someplace, the car will actually, via GPS, will know where you are and, you know, say, do you want to remember this location? So essentially, if you're going 15 miles per hour or less and you're in this location, the front axle lift will automatically go up. So I have that set. So now every time I come to this one spot on my street, it starts to lift, and then when I pull, by the time I come around and I pull into my driveway, it's already up. And I haven't scraped the front yet. So I'm glad I got that because again, this car is very, very low. So I thought that was essential. So I got the Sport Exhaust System and the Sport Chrono package. And the reason why, this is total kind of my own sort of vanity, but the Sport Exhaust System and the Sport Chrono package allows you to like change the mode that you're in this car. So you can go from normal mode, which is just, you know, nothing fancy to it. It's just kind of like the standard. There's Sport, and then there's Sport Plus, and I think there's some other ones, but those were the two that we went over the most. It just puts this car in like a sport mode. So, you know, the engine revs higher before it changes gears, things like that. And then the Sport Exhaust, that will turn on when you're in Sport Plus, or you can turn it on with a button, and that just opens the flaps in the exhaust pipes, letting more air in. But it also is what gives the car like that really beautiful like low growl, and that's what I wanted. I really love the sound of like a low, like a really, really low hum to a car. So I got that, and then I could pick like what exterior finish you want the actual tailpipe. So I got silver. I think you could get it. Could I get them white? That would be really stupid because that would get really dirty really quickly. I think it was just silver or black. And I thought because, you know, the car is white or whatever, and they're tailpipes, I was like, let's go with silver. So I got silver. tailpipes. I got an ionizer, which actually wasn't that much, but that basically, you know, it ionizes the air in here, so only like clean air comes in. Sorry, I'm like sweating because I didn't want to open the window because all the flies were coming in. So I did get an ionizer. I got a heated steering wheel, which is so interesting. There's like a little button on the steering wheel and you press it and it turns on. So that's pretty cool. I got the Crest in the headrests. So that's what you see here. It's probably in the shadow, but it's just like embossed in there, which I really liked. I didn't want anything that was like, you know, the red, black, and gold, like placard. I was like, I just want to make sure that it's like, you know, subtle. So I'm happy with that. I got the smoking package. It basically, it's just an insert here that most people use, like a little area to keep your change or like little things or whatever. There really isn't a lot of space for like cup holders and things. So basically it's like the smoking package is like an insert into the cup holder that is an insert into this like little space that you have in the console. And it was free. So I was like, okay, let me just get it. Cause he's like, if you don't like it, you can just take it out and like, you know, put it aside or whatever. Oh, so the wheels that I have are the 20 inch / 21 inch Carrera S wheels, just FYI. So they're called the Carrera S wheels. Anyway, you know, you'll see a shot of them. The Sport Chrono package is smoking power sport seats. So you can get kind of more basic seats. And then the middle package is what I got, which is the 14-way sport seats with memory package. And it's awesome. I mean, it has all the basics, right? You can move forward, back, up, down, you know, the back, the actual base of the seat. Then there's like lumbar positions. And then there is this seat extender. So it's like a thigh extender and it comes out. And my salesman was pointing it out. He's like, it's great for long drives because it gives you more of like a lazy boy feel. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So anyway, I thought that was really, really neat. And then let's see. Oh, lightweight and noise insulated glass. I got that option. That's the back panel glass. And I thought if I'm going to be vlogging, you know, sometimes I vlog while I'm in the car or whatever, it would just be great because this car is loud. It can be loud outside. So I was like, let me get as much noise protection as possible. So I got that. I got no sunroof because living in Vegas, I don't want any more sun. And also in this car, like you're so far forward that I can't enjoy it anyway. And there's no back seat. It's not like my back seat passengers. I mean, they're like jump seats, you know, in a 911. But like no one's gonna be sitting back there. No one's gonna be enjoying this like sunroof. So anyway, I wanted a solid top. I thought it looked better too. And then I got the premium package, which includes surround view, which is like the cameras. So I get kind of like an overhead view, like when I go to park or when I go into reverse or whatever, when I get close to something. Sorry, it's loud in here now because I had to turn on the engine. It was getting so hot that my camera was actually overheating. I'm like, I can sit here and sweat, but my camera needs to cool down. So I just turned the car on to let it cool down. But you can hear how loud it is, even with that insulated glass. But the last few features that are part of that premium package, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. So surround view, I think that's where I left off. There's a storage package, or I'm not even sure what that is. I think it's something in the frunk. This car doesn't have a trunk because the engine's back there, so it's a frunk. And ventilated seats, so I have cooling seats, which are, again, pretty important in Vegas. Power folding exterior mirrors, so my side mirrors can fold in. They can also turn down. And that's like a setting you can set whenever you're backing up. Your mirrors can turn down. And my Range Rover didn't do that, but when I had my car in the shop, I was renting a Cadillac SUV and it did that. And I was like, why does it do that? So I asked my salesman, he's like, oh, it's so you can see the curb. So you're not like running into the curb. I was like, oh, okay. Because for me, it's like, I want to see the side, like make sure I'm not like about to run into another car or something. And then the premium package has BOSE surround sound system. So I think they have 3 systems. There's the base one, there's the BOSE, and then there's one that's even higher. And, you know, I was kind of thinking about it, but again, my salesman talked me out of it. He's like, you don't need it in a car this small. He's like, if you got a Cayenne, which is their SUV, he's like, then maybe, you know, you want like kind of a good sound kind of going around the whole space. He's like, your car's so small, it's not, He's like, it's just going to be reverberating. So I was like, oh, okay, good point. And then I have ambient lighting, which I will take a shot of and throw in here, but I'll have to do that at night. But it's basically lighting around the car, and I can change the colors and stuff. It's pretty cool. And then there's lane change assist, which is pretty standard, I think, for cars at this point. You know, it gives you warning signs, warning lights if, you know, there's a car next to you or whatever. And then it has the Porsche Dynamic Light System Plus, which is the headlights. I don't know. Again, it's not like their fanciest headlight, but I think there was a reason why I didn't get the fanciest. There's something about like the difference. There's some like different laws between Europe and America, and like the fanciest lights aren't even that fancy in America. Something like that. Anyway, I just got they're the PDLS Plus. I have not driven this car at night yet, so I can't comment on the headlights, but man, are they good looking. So those are all of the options that I get. And if you guys aren't even familiar with Porsche, I mean, I wasn't until I started this process. Those aren't even options. Like, you literally have to build the car from scratch. You kind of pick the model that you want, and then you have to pick all the options. So all the build outs basically. So it's pretty cool. Thank you guys for listening to this whole car waiting for process over the past 4 months. I feel like I've been talking about it a lot, but here we are. Oh my gosh, look, I made my husband put a towel on the seat because we were coming back from the gym. I just wanted to take this car out, so we took it to the gym this morning, and I was like, we're gonna be really sweaty when we get back. I'm like, here, bring a towel. Oh, some other options that I got that aren't part of the car necessarily, but it's something that Porsche offers, is I ended up getting, I think it's called Silajet, something like that. I think it's Cilajet, and they basically like coat your entire car so that it's kind of almost like a permanent wax on your car, so dust just flies off, like all of that. It keeps like everything super shiny, gives it like this really nice gloss. And then I also got like a chip resistant film to put on the front end of the car. That's something else. So I have to bring this back to the dealer in a couple of weeks to do that, because they didn't have any loaner cars at the moment. So I'll be doing that just to make sure this car stays pristine. Vegas is very, very dusty, so that coating is almost a necessity because of how dusty it is. And they're going to do the wheels too. So, you know, having white wheels and them being so prone to dirtiness, it'll be nice to have them coated. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.